Good afternoon, everybody. As you might hear, I'm a little bit under the weather, but it's okay. I think it's just due to we had King's Day last week, where all of the Netherlands comes together to celebrate the King's birthday by drinking a couple of beers and sing along to very, very awful Dutch music. But ever since COVID, I think I'm just not used anymore to spending time around so much people, and I think my body also isn't used to spending that much time with all those people. But hey, we're back. Hopefully we're back on a regular streaming schedule. 3 times a week. Tuesday to Thursday. And we are going to do our best to launch, let me show you, Crossroads. So I'm getting all kind of notifications regarding the stream. Okay. So without further ado, let's look at the work that's ahead of us. We are almost done with the initial designs. We still have to design a couple of buttons, but I think we can get it done today. Then I want to focus on the personas, like mix and matching all the different kinds of components to see how they work together, and especially there is some work regarding like weights between the fonts, because I don't, for instance, if I look at this video creator thingy, this can be better, this falls away in background, like the difference between the actual heading and the paragraph text is just too, I don't know, it's not working. Well, when I look at like these two personas, they work way better. Like the header is the most important, a bit more like font size, font weight. I also think like, because this has a background, the indie hacker label here doesn't work where it does work on this page. So we'll have to do a little bit of work. And we also have to take a look at why is this font like bigger than this font? Can we do something about it? Maybe this has to be like, it can't be in 2 columns. It has to be in single column. Otherwise it's just too small. We'll have to see. We'll definitely have to do 1 or 2 iterations on all the design components, but I don't know, it is what it is. That's part of the process as well. And my planning is to do 1 more round of design today. Then tomorrow I want to move on to like, I don't know, maybe it's like 1 more iteration to get everything fixed, because I'm just not all that great with like fonts and like, especially on mobile where all the designs are for. So maybe tomorrow we'll do another round of design, but hopefully we'll can move on to like the landing page. And from the landing page we can naturally follow with like building the actual thing. Maybe I'll first build the landing page to do a sign up, like pre-sell it, and then we build the actual product. I don't know. It's one way to approach it, I guess. I don't know if I'm comfortable with it. Maybe we'll just start like skip over the landing page, build the actual thing, then work on the landing page. And then we also have the the assignment in front of us where we have to write all the guides, all the content. Because this product is more tailored towards the like handy people, like be handy with HTML, CSS, and you can create your own linking page for like a fraction of the cost for hosting it with one of the with Linktree, for example. So without further ado, let's just get vibing. Let's just design some more things. So looking at the list, what we have left to do, you can see the list in like the, I have to point direction, that corner. We'll scroll it a couple of times so you can see where I'm working now. So we have most of it down. We need icon buttons, image buttons. And we also have like, I guess these are cards, not really buttons. I fiddled around with them like a little bit today. We can keep them rather simple. Maybe we will do some more crazy shit with them. But we'll have to wait and see. I basically want like people, especially like indie hackers, to show their statistics. Like it's a bring your own API product, so they can do whatever they want. They can hook up Stripe to these statistics cards. They can hook up, I don't know, analytics. Maybe they can even like put headers in between them, like this product is making me this much revenue, this product is, or if they don't want to share revenue, they can share their growth. And of course, with that comes that I also have to write a guide on how to implement them. I probably do a couple of things with Next.js, just so people can follow the tutorial, and maybe even give some incentive to, okay, if I want to follow this tutorial, I have to buy the template, which eventually also comes back to me. And I really hope this product does work. I don't know, it's just, I like it. I like it. It doesn't have to be that profitable, but if I can get a couple of people to try it out and like be the beta testers, maybe we can then find enough confidence. Yeah, I guess it's confidence. Find enough confidence to build like a version 2 of this. And maybe even with all the API connections already out of the box. I don't know. So many ideas. Let's just first get to version 1 before we start speculating about a possible version 2. Okay, so let's see. Let's first focus on like these cards, because I'm not quite happy with them. I mean, I'm quite happy with like this one. Not sure about this one, but it's fine for now. I mean, this is more part of the next iteration where I have to go and be like, okay, does this difference in fonts, like, is from this as well, does it work? Or does it become an absolute mess once you start, like, combining the blocks? Okay, let's see. So, this is one thing, this is another. Let's first make them as big as one column. So one column has a width of 140. And yeah, I think I will keep them rather simple, like just red. We will dive into, like, we are using the Tailwind color palette just to make our lives a little bit easier, and I quite frankly think the Tailwind color palette is pretty decent. Yeah, default color palette. So let's see, let's grab a green 900 for this, so for the stroke, and then like a 400 for the background. That doesn't work all that well. I think like 700 for the... I think the stroke is just a little bit too... Yeah, exactly. And then maybe instead of a 400 we grab a 500. This was fine. Let me... Okay, let's do the same for... So let's do 700... Yeah, better. Now they match way more. And now we can also use these colors for... I don't know, maybe we'll use the stroke color? I'm not entirely sure. Oh, this also seems to work pretty well. Let's see if the stroke colors just... might work just a bit better for contrast reasons. Oh, it works. If it works, it works. Okay, so this is like... That's positive. That... So let's create another persona. This is gonna be an indie hacker. Which might have... Let's see, let's just clear out. Let's just clear out. Let's say that this indie hacker also has... I don't know. What does an indie hacker want to show? I think his projects. I think his projects are pretty important. And maybe he wants to mix and match. Or maybe not. Maybe he... Let's just try something out. If I'm not mistaken, I can update the... Wait, let me try. This is a perfect, like, yeah. How can I make this, like, editable? Like, Figma component, edit text. I thought it was possible, but just how? Am I just... Yada yada yada, using new styles. Oh, these are textiles. I would say that it's something that has to be shown like on the component itself. Oh shit, you can make variants. That's... You have a block, an outer layout. Layout grid, clip content, nothing to change the text. I thought that was part of Figma. Apply overrides to instances. Including font, yeah, change fill stroke. Maybe it's just a matter of going into the like actual personas and just saying like override it. Like page views. Oh yeah. Oh okay, so that's something we can definitely do. And then we can be like, I don't know, 33%. What's another number like bounce rate? It's just a positive number, like let's say min %. Let's go to the components. Say that these definitely centered. Now they... Oh shit. Now they're centered. Let's create stacks of 4. I don't know. They just work better. You have pages. Bounce rate, unique. Visitors. Let's also capitalize bounce rate. What statistic have? Let me just quickly check my time on site, views. Plus 12%. Shit. It's the people. Cool. Let's grab these. Let's say 24. Let's grab a negative button. And maybe they want to have like their social media in between. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Oh. They are definitely missing something. Now that I'm thinking of it, I had another idea for like a block thingy. Just let's create an artboard. Which is gonna be 320 wide. Can probably just take like this, and then with a little catch. We know we want to be like 16 off here. 16 off the sides, 16 off the sides. Let's mark that with some things. Okay, what I was thinking is we can also create like a little feed, you know? Maybe we want to add some metadata to it. Like let's look at Ghost. Because I noticed it on their Teams page today and I was like, yeah, we probably need something like this. Like I'm talking about these kind of like such a list, you know? Especially for publishers or for blogs, this could be kind of handy, like just showing the latest 3 blogs in your link in bio. In a way that you have a little bit more space for the title and a little bit more space for like some metadata. Let's just 28 June 2022. And what's more like a, I don't know, 5-minute read. And this is inter, this is inter. Let's say this is bold. Customizing colors. Let's grab a gray. I should probably divide this into other things, but I don't really care. Whoop. Oh, that's a little bit too little of a contrast. Better. Do I have to add a read more button? I think these can just be clickable, right? And then it's obvious enough. Or maybe we now want to include a accent color, like a bluish or something. Like what do we get if we add like a blue 600? Oh, that actually doesn't look all that bad. But then again, I don't really have anywhere else to include such an accent color. So we're probably just gonna default to like this color, like this dark color. This actually looks like fucking shit. And it's because of these buttons. I don't know what it is. I'm just really bad at designing buttons. Now let's also create a feed with images. We can probably just take like this image. I don't know if I like the 16 spacing between everything, but we'll have a look. Maybe the image is also a little bit too... Like, let's say that this publication starts off with like a feed with images. This doesn't look all that bad. I think the images are just a little bit too... Well, I don't know. Maybe we can even get rid of like this, let's say, latest publications. I think this works. I think this works pretty well. Okay, let's focus a bit on... Okay, so we need image buttons. Okay, let's say we have the statistic cards. Okay, we need do we need testimonials? Okay, I'm gonna fix one thing now, and that's that I'm not fond of the block quote. Let's say that's medium. Better. Better. Okay, so let's create the buttons now. Like, we have an icon button. And we have an image button, which are probably going to be the same, right? So let's see. This button is like, let's say it's 30 because we have a border. And then we can say that between here and here we have this. So let's say that an image is like 30. Let's say it's 15 in width, 15 in height. Maybe a little bit bigger, like 20 maybe. Like, what if we do 20 by 20? Is that sufficient? sufficient enough, or is that too small? What image will we take? Just the one of the nebula, I think. Detach. Mask it. I don't know, let's just... Here, fine. Okay, so if you go to personas, let's... I want to get rid of these ones. I have to rework them. I haven't made a component out of them, right? Nope. Let's say all button, image button. So why image buttons? Because if you go to like Linktree, let's go to the one of Gary V. You'll see that these all have images, and maybe we even have to move them more to the side. I don't know. Maybe that looks... Nah, I think 16 pixels looks best. Okay, so let's grab this one. Shit, did we already hit like the component button? No. Create component. What the fuck just happened? Actually, this doesn't look all that bad. Especially if you change like the images in here, it will look pretty decent. However, I am going to move the images a little bit more to the left. Maybe say have it? Like, let's say it goes 8 pixels off the side. Meet me in the middle, like 12. Nope, I think 8 is the way we want to go. And then you can update those with your own like images. Like iHeartRadio and like podcasts and Spotify if you want to. And we probably also want, let's create that in like Figma, like when we build the blocks. Set the CSS variables for default colors, so it's easy to override like text color, text color. Button default color. Secondary. Like. Okay. That's nice. And then let's do the same for an icon button. I think we're pretty close. So let's remove this. First, let's detach the instance. Let's go to hero icons just for the fuck of it. What is a nice... I don't know. This one? Let's say it's 20 by 20. And we're gonna say it's white. And we know that it has to be 8 of the side. It is 8 of the sides. Oh. It's just a little bit too big for my likings, the stroke. Oh, better. I mean, it's an icon button. And let's remove the background from here. Okay. I think the buttons are decent enough for the first iteration. Now we are going to go through all the blocks. Icon button, image button, buttons are done for now. Fuck these. So you can set them yourself. Let's just keep them so we know about them. Maybe we forget about them, then we go into this task later and we'll be like, oh yeah, let's write some documentation on how to embed tweets and how to like embed a Spotify widget. Okay, give me 1 second to like grab a glass of water and blow my nose because this hay fever is really getting to me. Okay, I'm back. I don't know actually if I have the flu or if I just have a terrible case of hay fever. Yeah. Ah. But hey, what you gonna do about it? Absolutely nothing, you know? Fuck me sideways. So let's see. Let's say that... Okay, so we still need the testimonials, which are probably going to be cards. So let's go to Dribble and let's look for a couple of inspirational thingies for like testing. I probably could have looked up just a couple of landing pages, but hey. Oh, these look quite alright. I think these can work. I don't know if I actually want to work with a star system. Because then I will have to include the icons. And it's just, you know, a couple of quotes. Like more like this, you know. Actually, let me replicate this for a second. And then we can go from there. Like, let's grab this. Let's detach this instance. Let's remove the pricing. Let's move these suckers up a bit. And let's remove this. Go to Unsplash. Say like portrait. I don't know. Who's happy? She doesn't look happy. She does look happy. I just want a colored photo of someone who's a bit older. Is happy. Happy. Yeah, she's used like 1,000 times before. I've used her in multiple projects for testimonials, so why not for this project as well? So let's create a rectangle that's like, I don't know, 35 by 35. Let's see if this works. We have border of 3. Let's create a little bit of depth to 812, which is the shadow we use for this project. Let's drag her in here, and we have to make her quite a bit smaller. Wait, where's the... Here. Ooh, shice. Okay, smaller. Do 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 do. Smaller. Okay, then we can mask it. Okay, I don't know what this is, but let's remove it. Lorem ipsum. Laura. Exemplisch. CEO. Okay, so let's say this developer has like good like credentials from like 2 twin sisters. Okay, cool. The weight is absolutely out of whack. Do, 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 do. I have to get a little bit more mindful about these pages, because I want to like take them along as like default templates people can use to like as a starting point, for example. Okay, yeah. So let's work a little bit on like the font weights, because they don't work here, they don't work here really all that well. They kind of work here, but not all that great. Let's have a little look-see. So I think the headers are fine. They are great, they are good. Nothing to worry about. Headers are cool. Okay, so we have the decimal. Let's just think that off. Let's say right completed. Okay. Check font family. I'm going to stick with Inter. Did I say anything else about the font family? Fuck that. Launch documentation. Of course, documentation comes in front of launch. Like, we also know that we have to create a how to video. Something we have to shoot as well. Let's see. Oh, Let's also create PDF showcasing. Right, this is Roblox. So, a quick glance. Include it. I also have to like think about like. Better. What happens if I underline this? Okay, that looks not all that great. Oh, okay, so we have the video, we have the blogger, we have the developer, we have the indie hacker, and we have the publisher. Okay, so now I'm kind of thinking about two things. I can fix everything in Figma. But on the other hand, we can also just get started with like setting up the template and fix everything once we are hands on. I think that might actually be better, because for some reason whenever I design in Figma, it doesn't give me a great sense of like font sizes and how everything is going to work together. I have to see it on like a device or in a simulator to know for sure what's happening, because as you might know, like when you render something in like Firefox versus Chrome versus Safari, everything looks different on mobile as well as on desktop. So I could bust my balls to get everything looking perfectly pixel and like crisp in Figma. But on the other hand, we have the components, we know what everything needs to look like. And we can also work backwards from there. Like first okay, so now we made it in Figma. Now we're gonna set up the template. And we are going to screw around a little bit in the side of there. And then I can always decide, okay, and now I want to also include the Figma file. So I'm going to upgrade the Figma assets to make sure everything is the way it should be. Yeah, I think that's the way to go, right? Yeah, I think that's the way to go. So, without further ado then, let's see how the fuck we make an HTML, CSS and JavaScript template. Because I am not going to use Tailwind for this. Let's go to chat. Okay, so we know a couple of things. I'm not going to use Tailwind because I want to keep this as simple as possible. I want to use plain HTML, CSS. I rather not use JavaScript for the reason that I want to make it very convenient for someone to bring their own API. So, is there any tool in the space that we could leverage for this? Or is it just as simple as like me creating an index, index.html, and then maybe a folder with like sections or blocks, and then all the individual blocks like bundled with their own CSS. So that will basically mean that we have like, okay, so let's hide Notion and let's grab Notion, like setup template. So we'll probably have like a, like let's think about file structure, right? So we'll have an index.html, a styles. Let me like write this without styles.css, and this thing is like entry points, maybe with some documentation. And then style.css are all the basic styles, including CSS variables. Then we're gonna have a blocks folder, which is going to take like a, let's say, a block name.html and a block name.css. Right. Do we need anything else? Maybe a README? Information similar to the default index.html. Well, and maybe we'll also have like a couple, like a templates folder, persona name.html, persona name folder. Okay, be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, guys. I don't know if it's... Again, I don't know if it's hay fever or like... If the flu, I don't know what it is. As soon as I want to get back on like my regular stream schedule and my whole calendar is cleared, this hits me. But hey, we're still going strong, but there will be a couple of more interruptions during the stream. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so we have an index.html, which is an entry point with some documentation, some style.css, or maybe this just has to be like... maybe even... a very simple template with a reference to ink and day. Or maybe button ports station. That's also possible. So inside the persona name folder is going to be like an index, HTML, and a styles.css. And then readme. I think this is pretty much it, right? And then just the different, like, here's the difference between the Lite and Pro version of blocks. And then they can take it from there. So let's, I don't know, let's set it up. Let's set it up. Why not? Why not? Let's put it to the side. Let's open my terminal. Let's get cracking. Okay, let's wait for this to load. Let's go to web dev. Let's go and create a crossroad folder. And then the only different, yeah, I can create it inside. Let's touch a index.html, a styles.css. Yep. And then let's create a, what did we say again? Like a blocks and a templates, and let's create a read.md. Let's open this in VS Code. Okay. Oh shit, I forgot to... God damn it. I can probably do this way faster, but let me just... Yeah. Dude. Okay, what I'm going to do now is create a standard template to style all the default components. It's 3, 4, 5. Do we also need an H6? I don't know. Let's go with the flow. 6. Hi Michi, how are you doing today? A little bit under the weather, but I think it's hay fever. I don't know. Had a couple of parties last week due to King's Day and another other national holidays. And since COVID, I haven't been around that much people in like 2 years. So, I don't know. Where are you from? I'm from the Netherlands, man. Or woman, I don't know. And where are you from? Germany. Ah, we're neighbors. Practically. Let's say we also have a block quote. Hello. Let's also do some lorem. What framework is that? None whatsoever. We are building an HTML template. So basically what I'm building right now is if you like... Ah, yes, you already found the command. That's great. But I'm building Crossroad, which is basically a collection of like HTML and CSS. Like it's a blocks library for you to build your own like link in bio page. Or landing page. For that reason, if you want to have your own website just to show your like social media most recent blogs, you can do it with Crossroad. It's more tailored towards developers or people who are a little bit tech savvy, because I'm very focused on like bring your own API. Like I've noticed a lot of tweets from people who like, okay, it would be great if I had a personal like website link in bio, but then I can link my own blogs to it. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to build the integration to hook up all your blogs. I don't know, just too much work. And that was be a step 2 for this project, like maybe a Crosstalk version 2. So that's why I focus more on like the developers. I'm like, okay, you can hook it up yourself. That's why I'm only doing like HTML, CSS. So they can pretty much inject this into their Next.js, into their Nuxt, into their whatever. Oh, thanks. Thanks. Appreciate that. And the same is for like the newsletter sign up. Some people use MailChimp, some people use Reviews, some people use Yada, something else, or another kit on the block. I'll just provide you with the HTML and CSS. The only thing you have to do is worry about the implementation. Yeah, exactly. So what I'm doing right now is, because of the way I'm feeling, I was like, okay, I'm going to do like multiple iterations on the design, and I'm like, okay, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do most of the like design changes inside of HTML, CSS, just so I can see it in a simulator or in the browser. And I'm also going to, I don't know for how long I'll be online today, because I'm feeling rather shitty. But hey, we are still trucking. Let me just create the basics, like the basic CSS, the basic CSS variables. And let's see what's the latest in CSS variables land. Maybe there's something I missed out on. Also, let's create like a little bold. And a little italic. Come on, you can do it. Ah, come on. Okay, better. Okay, now for starters, let's grab the inter-font, because we know we'll be working with that one. And we'll be using the regular, the medium, semi-bold, bold, extra bold, black. Yeah, Inter is pretty great font. It reminds me a little bit of like San Francisco in a way. I guess I've used that before, but let me check. Self-host also. Yeah. I've heard of it. I can't use it in this project, Joe, because I don't want to use any packages. I don't want to use npm. I just default out of the box HTML CSS, so that's why I'll probably use like Inter via a CSS import. If you select the things like get the fuck out, regular, medium, bold, yes. And then let's give me this in. Yeah. probably will also, like, let's do that inside of the README. Like, go live checklist. Like, update SEO headers inside of index.html. Am I retarded? Isn't that how you do like checks anymore in like? Oh, probably not. Okay, I don't care. Let's just do it with lists and then make it beautiful later. Okay, so we have like these values in here. So now let's go and set the font weights. Actually, I might prefer all the... Nah, we have to set it. Like, let's say base font size 16 pixel. Let's work with REMs. Font size... Does Tailwind have any font size defaults? Like default font? What's the default font size? Like base is like 1 REM. For Excel, like let's say what does 2.5 REM gives us? I think that's pretty good base mark. All the way down to H4. I think we'll be golden, because then I know that indeed H5 we are down to like 1 REM, and that also means that we will not go as far as H6, because I think that's just silly. If you need 5 levels of headings, you're probably screwed. Okay, and this works great. Pause. On REM, and which... Let's also define the line heights. 1.5 REM. Yeah, that's nice. That's pretty cool. How did we do this again? Like CSS variables. I haven't worked with them in a long time. Ah, yeah, it's indeed root, and then it's like main text color, which is yeah, and how do we use them again? Far, right? Yeah, far text color. And now we have this. And now we can also say that this is this was the heading. Color. Let's have this. And define it for cool. And then we can also do B inside of B. Cool. So block quotes. Huh? Huh? Okay, so let's just like create a single. Maybe we also have to do the grid, like the container and the actual grid. That might be what we want. Do I have to include a reset? Maybe not, because I think people will get quite annoyed if I include a reset inside of their projects. Which means that we'll probably have padding null, margin 0. Margin one. Margin. Okay, and then we can have container class. It's going to be down here. Because for the container, I already know what's it gonna be. Because we know that we are gonna give it a padding 0 and 1 rem of the sides. So if I go here and I say, okay, container, move everything inside of there. You're gonna be nice and tidy, right? Yep, and we're good. Let's also set up a column grids, which is gonna be display grids templates. Why is my CSS not auto completing? Gonna be 1FR, 1FR. CSS gap. Gappity. I just want to have the column gap. Yep. CSS gap. Gap's gonna be .5 rem. And let's say that we have. Ooh, how do I want to approach this? Let's create it on top, right? So let's create a container. Then let's introduce a grid. How did I call it again? Like grid to column. And let's say that we have to lorem p text inside of there. Which pretty much is we need, right? Yep. Cool. Which is pretty much what I expect to see if I take these, for example. And we already see that I made a small mistake because for the actual medium F-curves, and then I can maybe even say like P. No, let's just keep the font weight like 500. What it needs to be here. It works well, but what if I increase it? Okay, so we have out of. How much did we have between these two? 8, yeah, so it's gonna be 0.5. Okay, be right back. Quick toilet break. Okay, let's go back to work. Also, let me increase my editor size so everybody can follow along. Put in my in-ears. Just a second. This can close and it's close. There's no need to have that on screen, right? Okay, so let's see. I'm kind of okay with how big this is. Okay, so we have the 2 column, which is gonna be a utility class, right? Now, let's... What is this? Okay, cool. Well, I might as well start with like the blocks. Like, let's create a category like content. Let's say text. Let's say text. And inside of text, we're gonna have a folder called heading. I don't know if a heading. Yeah, I might as well. Next to the HTML. This is just gonna be an H1. Because I have to take into account that some people might actually be retarded. Single column. And they just want to copy paste and they don't know anything about CSS. So let's just give them the container styles. Like, also be a little bit semantic and say that this is a section. And inside of the section there's a container. And inside the container there's a P with like lorem ipsum. And maybe even some more lorem ipsum. And for this as well, let's create a section. In that section there's a container. And in that container there's a title. Because this way... Okay, so if I'm the user, I'm like, okay, I want to have a header. So I will go to like index.html. Actually, let me just... Should I rename these as well? Like heading.html, is that more obvious? Like single column. Yeah, I think that's better. This way there's no confusion with what is the actual index.html, right? So let's say that I'm a complete noob. And I'd be like, okay, I want a heading. And I also want to have a single column. Well, this works, right? Okay, now you still have the issue with like the double section, but does it really matter? Not all that much, because people who are a bit more tech savvy will know that, okay, it doesn't make sense to have it in like two. Or what I can also do is not make the heading a block. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Let's just make it part of like the single one. Yep. Styles, and also let's say that the margin bottom is like .5 rem. So where is this coming from? It's a padding right, padding 0, better. And then we have a column. Because this way I can also like provide people with a way to like Okay, so if I do this, like I have a container, then I probably want to have the H1 like a header title. And then inside of this container, I want to have the grid to column. With inside of there like the two p-tags. And then if I was the user, I would go inside of here. I would be like, okay, let's remove this and be like this. And then I also have this. And now the... Why can't I click on the right button? Okay, so... What's this? Ah. Okay, what I don't want things to have is like a margin top. That doesn't make sense. I want things to stack on top of each other quite nicely. Well, my users aren't that stupid. They can figure out when they want a margin. I mean, they can even... Maybe we also want to say like... Let's say gap or default margin. Maybe even default spacing. Yeah, that's better. Because this way, if people are kind of... more spacing between these two R2 and these two. Let's say default vertical spacing. Yeah. This way people can alter these values, like this is a vertical spacing, like the grid gap is a horizontal spacing. That's better, because this way I can say like, oh, I don't like the vertical spacing, let's just set it to 0. Curious why the has a margin. Yes. Thank you very muchos machos. And if we if we set this to 0.5 REM, now we have a nice spacing between the header and the actual columns. So we have the 2 column and we even have a single column. So if I took the single column now and I was the user and I would paste it in here, this would also look the same, but then in single column. So which block do we have then? Like the block quote on container. Quote container. HTML. HTML. Do I want to do this in folders? Yes, because we might actually have a couple of things that need to define the styles.css for to keep the bundle sizes or small, low, small. Okay, so again we have a section, and inside this section there is a container because it's on container, and then we have a quote and block quote, some forum. Like wrapped inside of this. It here. Okay, so the block quote actually is going to have its own CSS file. Not quote container CSS. Or do we need some default styles? Maybe we, because we have two things, then it should probably be inside of here. Block quotes. So how did we design this? So it's going to be like font size or font weight medium. So font weight 500. And actually use a little bit more line height. 7.5 maybe, or maybe 6.5. I'm not entirely sure. Or maybe not 5. 6.5. Okay, now why are you? Okay, let's say that the padding is 0. Margin is 0, just to set a good reset. We'll edit this later. Okay, so what are we working with? We now just have something that is on container and which has a little bit of... Okay. Okay, so we also know that it's like italic. Start. We can use the before, yes, like, and which was the width of this bar? Okay, you might actually not be able to see it, but in front of here, in front of here, there's a bar. If I zoom in on it, you might see the contrast or not. I have to know it's 2 pixels width. It's like, let's say it's a height of 100%. And it's a background. We might have to change that into a variable. Now let's just make it red so we have something to work with. Cool. And then it's gonna be like .5 from the left. Cool. Okay, that was freaking easy. Bada bing, bada boom. Actually, why not make it 4? Make it a little bit fatter, which looks better. So let's say it's 1 R. That's too much. It's too much. Let's say it's 4. That's -.5. See, and this is exactly what I meant with like designing further in the browser, because now I actually see the viewport and what I'm working with. And I can also say like, okay, and how does this look on a Pixel? How does this look on Pro, XR, SE? See, that's what I meant. Send help, I'm dying. Ugh. Baby. Okay, Okay, so what else do we have? Like off container. Okay, so that means that we have... Do we still want to put it inside of a container? No, I guess we do not want to do it that way. What happens if we place this motherfucker just inside of here? Are we good? We are definitely not good. Okay, so how did we design this? Let's go to the personas. This was more if we have like single column text. Like let's make more of a real world example in here. Like I always like to offset one element when it's in the middle of text, right? Maybe we have to give the sections like a style, so it's like heading, spacing, sides it's 0. Now let's create a... Actually, we can get rid of the defaults. Doesn't make sense to say default when it's the theme, right? Like section vertical. What's this section? Vertical spacing. And let's set that to like 1.5 rem. I think that's 20, right? Yeah, because the 16 was 8. It's like... Okay, cool. Okay, so let's say that we have a container half for the things that are like slightly off container. Not too much, just slightly. We can say container like half. Oh shit, I have to. Of course, it's not. And if it's half, then we might actually not want it. Oh well, actually, it's fine to have it there. If it doesn't screw up with everything, we can basically have this little thing here to the side. Okay, cool. So yeah, as far as I can see, this works, or as far as I can tell, see, this actually, well, like defining it into like columns. Like let's header. Let's create a new like folder for header. And let's say style profile. Well, header, which has an image, which is on container. And beside it, it has a div, which includes an h1 for the name and a span for the and we probably also need like an image folder, right? Just let's grab this one. We can also use inline styles now that I'm thinking of it. Nah, let's not do that. Let's just like also kind of going to do like profile header CSS. It's going to be a little bit cumbersome during development, but you know what? I'm not going to do this on stream, but probably tomorrow morning I will look into a little bit of like a build system, like a couple of scripts. So I can just write inside of the profile header CSS and just compile everything down like a single build file. And then once we deploy, the user doesn't get that, but has everything split up nicely for them. Actually, let's just write it in here, like profile header, and then the profile header has like a h1. It's plain CSS, so we have to do it this way. This is nice. So I'll probably only have to do like the spawn, which has a color of grab this and sit on top of here. Let's create some space to work with. Okay, so what we know is that we need to... Okay, close this for a second. Close this for a second. We are working here. So we get profile header. Profile header. In here. Right, because we need that side over here. Cool. And say like profile header itself is like display. Flex. Five. What's wrong? Ah, yes, yes, yes. And then we also know that this gets a border radius of 50%. And now I can also tell that this is way too smallly designed inside of Figma. Hey, why is the border radius not working? Doesn't it like here? Uh-huh. Yep. Oh well, let's just first get the actual text right. Let's see. The overflow goes into the container of the image. Which should be the header image, right? Oh shit, sorry. Yeah, you're completely right. Okay, and why is the 50% not work? I thought this was the way to go, right? This is border radius circle. %50 should work. Why is it not? Because it's not taking the entire height. Ah, that's pretty interesting. That's because of the text. Right? Yep, that's because of the text. Well, let's first work on padding, which is gonna be like section. Back the actual content. Ah. It's too big. Let's say 8. Medium, which is 500. Okay, what happens if I do like 45? It's too small. $75 it is. Okay, I need another break to get myself a glass of water because I'm slowly dying of hay fever. Bear with me, like 1 minute, 2 tops. If anybody has some hay fever tips, let me know in chat, because I want to get rid of it. Just remove your lungs and you will stop coughing. Well... do I want to increase the spacing? Maybe just a tiny bit. What happens if I do it? I might actually like this way. What do you guys think? Like 75? 75 is this? Or like 85? Shit. 85. This 85. This 75. I'm quite on the fence because 75 feels elegantly... It's not too small, not too big. But 85 makes the picture a little bit... When in doubt, decide on the thing that you have an argument for. Okay, so this looks pretty okay. Ah, yes, also on desktop, let's update the container because this has to be responsive and work on desktop. Let's say max width 960. Hello. Maybe I even want to make it smaller. 760. Up. And then 92. So it has like a 1 REM on both sides. Yeah. Cool. Now, let me grab all of this. here. Now let's do books. Wait, why the fuck aren't you flexed anymore? Why? Okay, cool. Really? Okay, next header. Let's create a utility class. Okay, so why I'm creating like a utility class for this, because use it here, 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 here. Maybe even here if you opt for rounded images. Makes maybe more sense if you use a profile image which is rounded instead of the like 3 pixel border radius. Whoop. Hey, thanks for the follow, legendary urban hacker. Welcome. Introduce yourself. What are you working on at this moment? Or are you just lurking in the background, doing school, working on a cool project? Let me know. Actually, I want to hear all of your stories. If you work on any cool project, I love to talk to chat. Takes my mind off like grinding code a little bit and like designing. Actually, let me fix this one. Oh, this is going to be the problem with my workflow. That if I make like changes... Okay, how am I actually going to tackle this? Okay, let's just work inside of here. Work backwards. Oh, I had an image. Okay, so we can get rid of this. And the only thing we needed here, like margin right, like far, so spacing. So if I now out, so this still has to look good. Yeah, cool. So let's go here. Okay, so this still looks good. And if we now have the profile with bio, which we are going to yank in here. Okay, so now we have this, which makes sense. I can make this a little bit smaller, right? Yep. Okay, bio header. Padding, far, horizontal spacing. No, that's gonna be section spacing. This is also going to be like display flex. Fine. Justify content center actually. I was right. Center because this has to be flex. Action. Cool, and then we can also bio header and let's just do all the work inside of here, right? Profile, header. And then once I'm done, I will just yank it in the appropriate CSS files. Then I only have to like copy and paste over like the actual profile headers. So let's see what we're working with. So if we go to index, profile header, we have an image. That's why I made the view a little bit bigger. Text is just a bit too big. Better. Biggest one then. It's like, it's probably base and like full weight. Medium. Probably this. Yep. makes sense. I really need to work on a build system tomorrow. That's something I already know, because otherwise I'm going to make too many mistakes, which is going to cost me too much time on this project. Like, this is good. Five is fine, actually. And going to do a little author thingy. How big is the height? 1. Okay. Okay, now let's make pockets transform. Might want to add position absolute to it. That would be great. Yep, there it is. And let's make it a little bit smaller. Shitload of content. Which is better. Actually, I think it can use a little bit more spacing in the header. Look at this, it has a little bit more breathing room. It can also be because of this white space. Let's double it. I think it's better. Do you guys agree, or back to like this? I think it can use double the spacing. I think it's alright. Okay. Doesn't look all that odd. Does this have... Yeah, that's just because of the text that this word is too If I make this wrapped, it probably still, yeah, it fits on here. Okay, let's see. So we have this. It can grow bigger than this. Then we small. Everything works just fine. And it's font size medium. I actually forgot about L1, so it's full. Oh, actually, it should already be medium, and it should be this color. Am I retarded? Oh, it's already medium. That's right. And that's exactly the point I made. The things you make in Figma just doesn't look the same like in every single fucking browser. Especially Windows. If it comes to text rendering, it sucks. So many times that I developed something on Windows and I was like, I don't know, it doesn't feel all that great. It definitely needs some work. I tested it on a MacBook or an iPad or an iPhone, and you were like, holy shit, this text looks crispy as fuck. But hey, this is my streaming PC, so I have to do with it. And you can also say something for like, if it looks decent enough on Windows, it will definitely look fucking amazing on Mac. Or on any other platform, no matter. I mean, the text rendering on Android is also pretty decent. Okay, so what's up next? Like, this one is finished. Now we need to... Okay, so we have to include a social bar. So this is actually a component which is also here. We have a component that's also here. Yeah, so we need to like create a component out of the social icon row. And let's fill that up with as much social icons as possible. So maybe look at what's most popular social media icons, so people can just remove from there what they want. And we also need a class to invert its color, like to white. But that's more for ourselves, because people might figure it out, and I might document it inside of documentation, but I don't know. I don't think we need to make two variants, like create a folder like social icon row and then create two files in there, social icon row black and social icon row white, sorry. Because that will also mean that we always have to maintain two files for this instead of just a single CSS class. And with that said, I'm again going to blow my nose. I'm very sorry. It's hay fever season. I can do anything about it. Because the other alternative is that I don't go live. And I just want to stay consistent on my stream schedule this time. Okay, gonna blow my nose. Gonna grab a glass of water. Gonna go to the toilet because of all the water. I will see you guys in like just, I don't know, 1-2 minutes. Tops. Here I am. Let me put back in my in-ears and then let's get cracking again. Hey, Odin. Joey. I'm kind of on the fence. Yeah, you know what? Let's just make that icon roll because we need it here. We need it here. Probably just gonna be a div with like we're not gonna make SVGs out of them. I guess standard, right? I will add it later. So we have GitHub. Which order did we have? GitHub, Twitter, Twitch, Dev2. Okay. I might actually have to optimize these SVGs, but we'll get to that later. Facebook, also quite popular still. I don't know why. Yeah, we might as well like start with this. Okay, so GitHub, Twitter, yeah, we have all this, including Facebook and LinkedIn, so this should be quite sufficient. Let's just place it below it. Uh-huh. too small. Better. Maybe I can better. Maybe I can get it. Or maybe just. Out of fill. Nice. That was what I was looking for. Then we can have a column gap of like 5 horizontal space. Or not. Uh-huh. Beats. I just spelled it wrong. Not horizontal space, is horizontal spacing. Okay, cool. Now how am I going to get them? By center? Center column. Does this work? No. I think I've encountered this before. Okay. Sorry, that must have like stored it. Oh well. The more okay. C says center items inside of grid. I don't know. If people notice in the chat, help me out. How do you, okay, so this is the problem. Let me show it here. We have like this grid, as you can see. Like it spans to left or right, and it just repeats over and over and over and over and over because we have a repeat of 2 REM. What I want to do is like shift these items towards the center. That's all I need to do. Do I have to flex them? Grid area A, justify self. Actually, quite an interesting problem. Haven't I fixed this before for use affiliates, for example? Or did I just plainly use something else? I think I used something else for this. Maybe it's not even possible with... but this is not what I want. What I do want to achieve. Okay, so out of flow. Cool. Huh. Okay, this sucks. Okay, alternative. I can use display flex, but then okay, so how would I do this if I... Okay, so let's do this. So what I can also do is something like this. Like we already give those suckers. Flex wrap. Okay, flex wrap. Okay, and then can do like justify. Then center. And then we can say like margin right. It's like bar horizontal spacing. It's another way to do it. Don't get mad. I'd rather do it with CSS grid, but it's just... I don't know. Somebody has to teach me how to do that. Because I've looked this up for like user affiliates. How to like center grid items. If you have like, I don't know, 40 columns and you want to have it in the center, how do you do that? Like it's only 3 columns. It only occupies 3 columns, but you have 40 columns. How do you push it towards the center? But we can also do this. The only problem is that we now have like this margin right here, but this is actually something I did do a lot. Less of type, margin right, or maybe even better, not less of type. What kind of syntax magic is this? Syntax magic is better readable, because now this doesn't have margin right, but all the other things do have a margin right. Ta-da! Same thing, different approach. Now let's give these suckers a color. Like which color do they here? So that's like heading right. Yeah. Oh shit. I probably need to update the fill for this, because if I make this red, it isn't going to work. Yeah, cool. Cool, and let's update this spacing. Make it a little bit bigger. here. Yeah, better. Maybe I want to stay in between, like say 0.75. Just maybe even better. Do we want to have a hover? Let's focus on that later, on all the hovers and all that kind of fun stuff. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so let's make sure that this scales. Like, for instance, what happens if we do another row? Because maybe people have so much social media I can't even imagine, and you want to include a row of like 45 items. The question is, does it rap? Does it rap? Does it rap? It does rap. Cool. But now I can see that I want to give it a bit more space. Let's say margin. Better. Better. Although I'm not quite fond of what's happening here. Okay, so my problem... Okay, so maybe that's because I need to make this display flex as well. What is happening? Okay, so we have this. Let's look at the depth to 1. So they are pretty centered besides each other. Oh well, it might just look odd because there are so many. Facebook is the last one. Shit, I remove a div 2. It seems very wavy for icons that should be the same size. Huh. Oh well, let's fix it later. Let's focus on getting as much of these things inside the code base. This is the social icon row. That's nice. Oh. Okay, so the only thing we need to do to make this work is make this part of the header. Okay, so we know that this works on its own, right? So that's great. Kudos to you. So we want to include this. Yeah. Uh-huh. I fucked up. Better? Yeah. Okay, it can use a little bit more spacing though. So let's say, where were we working at here? Like, let's say it's like 1.5 REM. Yeah, better. And we can also say that this cascading wise, this has to be at the top for now. Actually, I think the colors are quite alright. We don't have to tweak anything else. Except that it still feels kind of wavy. But maybe that's because I just have to make these social icons just a little bit smaller. I've updated the wrong things. Where is it? I place it on top. That's right. With, say, 1.5. That's too small. I think 2 is the only sensible width for these things. 1.75. Maybe meet myself in the middle. No, that 2 feels too small. This is better. This is better. Okay. Okay, this feels good. This feels uber onmogelijk fantastisch. So now we have to move on towards these headers. So yeah. Yeah, okay, change of plans. Woo! This hay fever, it's different, yo. Okay, so I'm gonna call it a day because I'm slowly but surely dying even more. I need to get myself some meds, and I think the pharmacy is open for another hour. So I will do that. Tomorrow there will definitely be another stream. Hopefully I feel a little better. But I think we made some great progress. I mean, we finished the design, which, okay, they aren't quite finished, but I was like, just like I predicted, once you start working in the browser and writing the actual code, you will make tweaks anyways. So what I will probably do, if I am hell-bent on including a Figma file inside of the package that I'm going to sell, is I'm going to build it out in HTML, CSS. And once it's done and wrapped up, I will update the Figma file so it represents better all the changes we made, etc. So what do? Finish the blocks, set up like our file structure and how we want to build this, and we kind of developed the first couple of blocks and like the design system for that matter. I will probably take tomorrow morning to build myself a little bit of a build tool or some script that makes it easier for me to work with everything. Because ideally, I don't want to be working inside of the single styles.css file. But I will just be using these CSS modules, or I'll be using them as CSS modules. And I think we are now in the phase that we have to build everything in the front end. Which will probably take a day or two, maybe, or not a day or two, an afternoon or two. And next week we can focus on the landing page and the launch of this thing and presentation, all kind of fun stuff. So I'm very sorry for all the coughing and all the sneezing, but hopefully you still like the stream. And I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Amsterdam time. So have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're from. Have a little smoochy. And yeah, I will see ya.